Hello students, this is my third video on the chapter ILD, that is influence line diagrams. In the previous two videos, we have seen how to draw ILD for shear force bending moment as well as reactions for simply supported and overhanging beams. Now in this video, I am going to explain the procedure of drawing ILD for reactions, shear force and bending moment in case of compound beams. Now, when a beam of desired length is not available in a market, two or more beams are connected at their ends by means of hinges called as internal hinges to get a beam of desired length. Now, here I have considered one such compound beam and there is an internal hinge which is provided at this position D. Now, A, B and C are the three supports and all of these supports are providing vertical reactions. And let it be required to draw ILD for RA, RB and RC. So, I want to draw ILD for RA over here, ILD for RB and ILD for RC. Now, let us see how to use the shortcut method. Now, when you want to draw ILD for RA, remember the procedure. When you want to draw ILD for RA, mark 1 at A, mark 0 at B, means at the other reaction, mark 0 at C also. So, mark 1 at A, mark 0 at B, mark 0 at C when you are going for ILD for RA. When you want to draw ILD for RB, see again, when I wanted to draw ILD for RA, I mark 1 at A. When you want to draw ILD for RB, mark 1 at B, mark 0 at A, mark 0 at C also. Now, you might have got, when you want to draw ILD for RC, again what you are supposed to do is mark 1 at C, mark 0 at B, mark 0 at A. So, this is how you will have to get 3 points for each and every ILD of these reactions. Once you get these 3 points, see the procedure. Now, there are two spans AB and BC. Check in which span the hinge is there. Now, we can see that the hinge is in BC. So, if hinge is in BC, don't go for this span, go for the other span, that is AB. So, I will be dealing with this span first and then I will go with this span in which the hinge is there. So, go with this span, we have 2 points for this span, join these 2 points. Join these 2 points and extend the same line in forward direction till the hinge is reached. So, I am extending this line till the hinge is reached. Stop over here and we know this point, that is the point C, and this point, these two are to be joined. So, it represents the ILD for RA. Now, similar procedure is to be adopted for in order to draw ILD for RB. So, we have got 3 points 0, 1 and 0. Don't go with BC because BC contains hinge. Go with that span in which the hinge is not there. So, there are 2 points over here, join these 2 points by means of a straight line. Extend this same straight line till the hinge is reached. So, once you get this point, join this point with the point which you already have marked. So, it is the ILD for RB. Now, ILD for RC. Again, BC contains the hinge. Don't go with BC. Go with the first span AB in which the hinge is not there. We have got these 2 points. So, connect these 2 points. So, these are the 2 points. Extend the same straight line till the hinge is reached. So, I am extending the same straight line till the hinge is reached. Now, we are getting this point and for the remaining part, we know this point which has been already marked. So, join these 2 points and it will be the ILD for RC. So, this is how ILD for RC can be drawn. So, remember the procedure very well. I am going to consider the hinge in the left part in the next problem. In the previous problem, the internal hinge was in right subspan. Now, here I am considering the hinge in AB. And let us draw the ILD for RA, RB and RC. using the same method. Now when you want to draw ILD for RA, mark 1 at E, so it is 1, mark 0 at B, mark 0 at C. If you want to draw ILD for RB, mark 1 at B, mark 0 at A, mark 0 at C. When you want to draw ILD for RC, mark 1 at C, mark 0 at B, mark 0 at A. Then always here, as I want to draw ILD for RA and I have already obtained the points, I want to join these points, but before joining, refer the beam. Now here I can see that the hinge is in AB, so I will be going for BC first. So consider BC, there are these 2 points, so join these 2 points. Now once I get ILD for this span, what I will do is that I will extend the same straight line till the hinge is reached. So I am reaching the hinge over here. So it is one more point and join these 2 points now. So this is the ILD for RA. When I want to draw ILD for RB, I know that hinge is in AB, so I will be going with BC first. So I will be joining these 2 points first. Then I will extend the same straight line till the hinge is reached. And then I will be taking it back. So this is the ILD for RB. Now ILD for RC, again consider the span BC first, join these 2 points together, then extend the same straight line till the hinge is reached and then take it back to the point which has been already obtained. So this is how the ILD for the compound beam in which an internal hinge is there, the ILD for reactions can be drawn in this manner. Consider this beam ABC and let a hinge is provided at this position which is D. Span AB is 15 meter, then BD is 10 meter, means hinge is provided at a distance 10 meter from B, and then DC is 30 meter. Let it be asked to draw ILD for RA, RB, RC and shear force and bending moment at midpoint of AB. So midpoint of AB means this is the section which is given, which is at a distance 7.5 meter because the total span AB is 15 meter. So ILD for Vx and Mx is to be drawn. Now we just have seen how to draw ILD for RA, RB and RC. So ILD for RA, RB and RC have been drawn. To draw ILD for RA, mark 1 at A, mark 0 at B, mark 0 at C. So join these 2 points, extend it further till the hinge line is reached and then take it back. So this is how ILD for RA, RB and RC have been drawn. Now let us see how to draw ILD for Vx and ILD for Mx. Vx is the shear force at X, Mx is the bending moment at X. So procedure to draw ILD for shear force at X. Now section is over here. Now we always draw ILD for a unit point load which is moving from left end to the right end. So unit point load is moving from left end to the right end. Now the unit point load can have its position to the left of the section or to the right of the section. So I am just dividing the position in 2 cases, case 1 and case 2. I am going for ILD for Vx. Case 1, load is to the left of section. So left of section means to the left of XX. So load can be either to the left of the section or load can be to the right of the section. So case 2 is load is to the right of the section. Now when the load is in left part, remember the procedure which I discussed in the first video. When the load is in the left part, we don't go with the left part, we consider the right part. So when the load is in left part, consider the right part and get the value of shear force from the right part. So when load is in the span AX, we will be considering or calculating the shear force from right part. So Vx will be governed by RB and RC and Vx will be equal to RB plus RC, but these forces are to the right and upward force to the right we are treating it as negative. So Vx will be minus RB minus RC. Now when the load moves to the right of section XX, we go with the left part and calculate the value of the shear force from the left part. So when the load is in right part, Vx is to be obtained from the left part and we can see that there is only one reaction, which is Ra. It is upwards to the left of that section, should be treated as positive. So Vx is equal to plus Ra. So shear force at the section XX when the load is in left part is to be obtained from this equation, and when the load moves to the right part, it is to be obtained from that is Vx is equal to plus Ra. When the load is in left part, we will have to assign the values for y. Y can be 0 or y can be 7.5. So 0 and 7.5 are the two values for y. When y is 0, Vx is equal to. Now we know that Vx is given by minus Rb minus Rc. So when the load is over here, shear force at XX is to be obtained from Rb and Rc. So when load is at this position, check the value of Rb. Rb is 0, Rc is 0. Remember it well, the values are to be considered for the position of the load. So Rb is 0, Rc is 0, so both are 0, and that is why Vx is equal to 0. When the load moves to this position, that is XX, then check the value of Rb and Rc, because y is equal to 7.5 means we are considering the position of load at this position. So Vx will be equal to minus Rb minus Rc. So when the load is over here, check the value of Rb, this is that value, and which will work out to be 0.5 because it is exactly the midspan of A and B. So it is 0.5, whereas Rc is 0, and that is why Vx is equal to minus 0.5 in this case. Now when the load moves to the right part, we'll be getting the values of shear force from the left part. Now when the load moves to the right part, means right part starts from over here, y will be 7.5, y will be equal to 15, y will be equal to 25, and y will be equal to 55. So these are the four values, 7.5, 15, 25 and 55, which should be assigned to y. And when y is equal to 7.5, Vx is equal to Ra. So when y is equal to 7.5, check the value of Ra, it is 7.5, sorry 0.5, so it is 0.5. When the load takes this position, that is exactly on the top of B, then what is the value of Ra? Ra is 0, and that is why Vx is equal to 0. When the load takes this position, that is at the hinge, what is the value of Ra? It is 0.67, but it is on negative side, minus 0.67. And when the load takes this position exactly on the top of C, what is the value of Ra? Because Vx is governed by Ra, so it will be equal to 0, and that is why Vx is equal to 0. So we have obtained these values, mark these values. When y is 0, Vx is 0. When y is 7.5, minus 0.5. When y is 7.5 again, it is plus 0.5. So this is how I have obtained or plotted these values, and I will be joining these positions by means of straight lines. So this gives us the ILD for Vx. Now ILD for Mx. Again the similar procedure, but here we will have to take the moments. Again two cases. Case 1, load is to the left of the section. Case 2, load is to the right of the section. When the load is to the left of the section, moment at section XX will be governed by Rb and Rc. So moment over here, when the load is to the left of the section, will be Rb into distance, that is 7.5, and Rc into this total distance, which is 47.5. So moment at this section will be Rb into 7.5 plus Rc into 47.5. This is the value. Again y is equal to 0, y is equal to 7.5 for the left part. When we substitute y is equal to 0, we can see that Rb and Rc both are 0, and that is why Mx is equal to 0. When y is equal to 7.5, we see that Rb exists, which is 0.5, so it will be 0.5 into 7.5. Rc is 0, so it will not be there in this equation, and we get Mx is equal to 3.75. When the load moves to the right part, then we will have to get the moment at this section from the left part, and it will be Ra into 7.5. So that is what I have written over here. Mx is equal to Ra into 7.5. Y is equal to 7.5, y is equal to 15, y is equal to 25, y is equal to 55 are the values for y when the load is in right part, and Mx will be equal to Ra into 7.5. So we will have to check what is Ra when y is equal to 7.5. So when y is equal to 7.5, Ra is 0.5, and that is why it will be 0.5 into 7.5, which is 3.75. Y is equal to 15, Mx is equal to 0. Y is equal to 25, Mx is equal to minus 5.025, because when y is equal to 25 means over here we can see that RA is 0.67 on negative side, so it will be minus 0.67 into 7.5, this is that value. And when y is equal to 55, RA is 0, mx is 0. So I have plotted all these values, 0, 3.750, minus 5.025. I will have to join these positions. So this is how ILD for mx, that is bending moment at section xx, can be drawn. Thanks.